I said when I saw the birds flying over tonight, I'm thinking of the Birds movie. It occurred to me we're going to hear a little bit about that tonight. But Ron's been collecting stamps on and off since he was about 10. He lives up in the Wilkes-Barre area, and he's very modest about it. But Ron, you founded that club, right? The Wyoming Valley Club.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's in a very, very lonely job. I know it well. It's called editor of the Stamp Club newsletter. And so when you get 10 pages, a lot of it is from Ron. And I just send it out today, and it's always a good one. And I do like that new logo that you got. I think that's a keeper. And as I said in my email, if you guys don't want it, we'll take it. Very, very nice. But he's a worldwide collector and semi-specializes in U.S., Confederate States, and Canada. 2 topical collections, horror and Hitchcock. And he has various cover collections, including U.S. Navy ships named after local places, local postal history, and local philatelic history. He recently joined us. So I think you are our newest member, so congratulations. We welcome you here. And he's in various other philatelic societies, been for years, and obviously as the president and founder of the Wyoming Valley. So without further ado, if you could mute yours, we're ready to go. And Ron, if you want to share your screen, we're ready to go.
Okay. Okay, so Alfred Hitchcock is one of my favorite filmmakers. He directed 53 feature films, 2 short subjects, and 20 television episodes. And I have all of these in my collection, except for one feature that has been lost. And I watched each of them at least 3 times and saw 8 on the big screen, though none during the original release. So it was natural that I was put together a topical collection of Hitchcock on stamps. Now, my collection goes beyond just images of Hitchcock on stamps, because there really aren't that many. It also includes stamps that depict a film. Okay, also includes the stamps that depict the films he made, the actors and actresses who starred in his movies, and behind the scenes people. So I guess that would make this more of a thematic collection than a topical. And it also includes stamps showing images of places and items that were used in Hitchcock's films. This is a fun and challenging aspect, as it requires researching the films and looking for appropriate stamps. I hope you enjoy this look at Hitchcock. The U.S. issued a stamp depicting Hitchcock, Scott number 3226, on April 3rd, 1998, as part of the Legends of Hollywood series. He was the first director depicted in that series. And these stamps have 2 interesting features. The perforations meet the corners of the stamps. They are star-shaped. And this is a standard feature of the Legends of Hollywood series. And then in the upper left corner of the stamp is the famous Hitchcock profile, which is die cut. And this shows the die back of the stamp.
If you can hold on a second, Ron. Somebody's mic is on. Somebody check your mics. I'm hearing sidebar conversation. Make sure everything is turned off, okay? Thank you.
Okay, so as part of my collection, I have the first day souvenir, which the post office put out, and includes a full pane with first day cancellations. And I also have a matted pane of the stamps and a matted souvenir, which is a non-philatelic item, but it was sold by the USPS. And a souvenir page, which has a single stamp with the first day cancellation and background on the stamp. And a commemorative panel, which is a mint block of 4, and also background on the stamp. Now, this is a program for the first day ceremony, and it is a folder. On the inside is a pocket formed by a die-cut bird. And in the pocket are 2 cards. One is the ceremony program, and the other is the program for the panel discussion that's part of the ceremony. The panel is moderated by Hitchcock's daughter, Patricia Hitchcock O'Connell, And the panelists discussed the director and his films. Also on the inside is a stamp with the first day cancel and a few paragraphs about Hitchcock and his films. And just credits on the back. They also have quite a few first day covers of this stamp. Now here are some examples of various cachets. There are some that depict Hitchcock in the cachet. His profile, the clapboard. And then there are some showing a particular movie, such as The Birds, including this combo first day cover with the Hitchcock stamp, a stamp showing Birds, and 4 stamps honoring movies in general. And then there's some FDC showing Psycho. And then other cachets depict scenes from several movies. And then this combo FDC shows the Hitchcock stamp along with a stamp showing Grace Kelly, who starred in 3 Hitchcock movies, 2 stamps showing Birds, which is a reference to the movie The Birds, a stamp showing a California bell tower, which is a reference to the movie Vertigo, a stamp showing Mount Rushmore, which featured in the movie North by Northwest, and then a stamp marking the 50th anniversary of motion pictures. And this isn't a first day cover, but a souvenir cover marking the 100th birthday of Hitchcock on August 13th, 1999. It was postmarked in Alfred, Maine, and Hitchcock, South Dakota. And the cachet shows Cary Grant, who was in 4 Hitchcock movies. Now in 2009, the U.S. issued a pane of 20 early TV memory stamps, Scott number 4414, which features 20 different classic TV shows, including Alfred Hitchcock Presents. And then the back of the stamp had a description of the show. And this is the first day cover of the stamp, which has a machine cancellation. Another with a pictorial cancellation. And then the back of this cover has information about the show. Now, in 1985, Great Britain issued a set of stamps honoring British filmmakers, including Hitchcock. And then this is another first day cover, which is postmarked at the Alfred Hitchcock exhibition at the Sir Alfred Hitchcock Hotel in Leytonstone, London. And this first day cover has a special postmark for British Film Year and the British Federation of Film Societies cachet. Now, several other countries that produce myriad topicals issue stamps honoring Hitchcock, including Sierra Leone, Guinea, another Sierra Leone, and then Guinea, Mozambique, and St. Thomas and Principe. And then Kazakhstan issued a set of stamps in 1999 honoring the cinema, including one depicting Hitchcock, along with this cover also has Sergei Eisenstein. And then I came across several stamps depicting Hitchcock films. One is this stamp from the Isle of Man, honoring the Manxman, an early Hitchcock silent film, which was filmed on that island. And the stamp is part of a 6-stamp series issued by the Isle of Man in 2018, honoring screenwriter Hal Caine and 6 of the films based on his writing. And this sheetlet from Sierra Leone depicts 9 Hitchcock films, including my favorite. And this one, issued on the 35th anniversary of Hitchcock's death in 2015, shows 3 films. And on this sheet from Mozambique, on the 30th anniversary of Hitchcock's death, 6 films are featured. Now, Monaco issued several stamps honoring movies in which Grace Kelly, Later, Princess Grace of Monaco appeared. Included are the 3 Hitchcock films that she starred in: Dial M for Murder, To Catch a Thief, and Rear Window. Now, Monaco and other countries issued stamps honoring Grace Kelly as an actress and as a princess. So she is shown in a set of stamps depicting her royal wedding with Prince Rainier in 1956, which ended her acting career. And she is honored in a joint issue of the US and Monaco. And she is on a stamp showing her with an Oscar, which she won for Best Actress in a Leading Role in the movie The Country Girl, which came out in 1954. And these issues from the Central African Republic show Grace Kelly individually in some of her film roles, including Rear Window and To Catch a Thief. And the souvenir sheet from Chad shows her by herself, with Prince Rainier, and with Hitchcock. And several other actors who appeared in Hitchcock films have been honored on stamps by the US and other countries. These include this issue from Niger showing Ingrid Bergman, who was in 3 Hitchcock movies, as well as a stamp from the US. And then Cary Grant, who was in 4 Hitchcock movies, Jimmy Stewart, who was in 4, Gregory Peck, who was in 2, Henry Fonda, who was in 1, and Paul Newman, who was in 1. Now for some stamps showing behind the scenes people. Now the US issued stamps got 33, 39 to 44, honoring Hollywood composers. These 6 stamps were issued in 1999 as part of the American Music Series. The 3 in this set who scored Hitchcock films are Bernard Herrmann, Dmitri Tiomkin, and Franz Waxman. And this French semi-postal stamp, Scott B. 174, issued in 1944, commemorates the 50th anniversary of the death of Charles Gounod, who composed Funeral March of a Marionette, which is a theme song for the Alfred Hitchcock Presents TV show. In 2003, the US issued a pane of stamps, Scott 3772, honoring American filmmaking behind the scenes, including this stamp showing Edith Head, who was a costume designer for several Hitchcock films. Now, there's one area I haven't started yet, but is in the planning stages. I'm going to make an album page for each film, and besides having stamps showing the director of the film and any of the actors, I will have topical stamps relating to that movie. Well, for example, the birds would have obvious topical stamps, including a seagull and a crow. And these would also be appropriate for Psycho, where Norman Bates' hobby is bird taxidermy. Another is the recent Palace of Fine Arts stamp, which just came out this month, I believe. And this building was used for a few scenes in the movie Vertigo. And other appropriate topicals would be these stamps from Sweden showing staircases. Because for some reason, many scenes, including iconic ones in Hitchcock movies, are set on stairways. So I prepared a mock-up of such an album page for North by Northwest. The stamps include Hitchcock, the movie, Cary Grant, who was the star, New York City, where the film begins, the United Nations, where some important scenes take place, Grand Central Terminal, where Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint trained for Chicago, and the 20th Century Limited, which is the train they take, Chicago, their destination, a biplane, and crop dusting, which figure in a famous scene, Mount Rushmore, also an important setting, and Bernard Herrmann, who composed the soundtrack. And just for fun, this is a detail from the film's poster showing Mount Hitchmore. Now, I won't be able to do such a page for every film, but probably enough to make an interesting album or even a thematic exhibit. And also a few miscellaneous items. Now, this is a Cinderella stamp promoting Alfred Hitchcock's mystery magazine, available in 3 easy installments. And I got this magazine every month when I was in my teens and 20s. Didn't really have anything to do with Hitchcock other than the title and the image of Hitch on the cover, but it featured mystery and suspense stories by various authors, and the stories usually had a Hitchcockian twist ending. And this postcard is postmarked in Hitchcock, South Dakota. It's a pictorial cancellation showing Mount Rushmore, which figured in the film North by Northwest. I don't know what the connection is between the town and Mount Rushmore, as they're about 350 miles apart. And another Hitchcock cover with a special suspense station postmark. And the one thing I've been searching for but haven't found yet is a first day cover for Hitchcock himself. That is a cover postmarked in London, where he was born, on the day he was born, which was August 13th, 1899. That was a Sunday, so I don't know if Great Britain postmarked mail on Sundays back then. This is the closest I found so far, which is August 3rd, 1899. Now, good evening. Thank you. Any questions? Oh, I think everybody's muted.
Ron, is the Hitchcock magazine still going, do you know?
I believe so. Although
Okay.
it looks a lot different now than it did back then.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. I was thinking as you're putting together, a page for each different films, many, that make a nice, I think that'd make a nice exhibit.
Yeah, maybe one panel.
Yeah, I think it would be. And eventually when we come out of COVID and are having our full show in April, we'll have about 24 different exhibit frames. So you can put it there if you want. There's no charge, there's no judging, and it goes over very well. Questions, people?
Ron, in all the films of Hitchcock's that you have you been able to spot where he is in those films of his in which he slips into a scene?
Oh, yes, quite a few of them, and some are really challenging to find. Like in Rear Window, he only appears as his profile in a neon sign in the background outside the window.
I guess in the very early films, he does not appear. For example, I recently saw The Manx Man, the 1929 film.
Oh.
I don't think he's in there, is he?
No, I don't think he's in the earlier ones. That's before he made his mark as a suspense film director.
Are there, that you know of, other Hitchcock collectors?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Because what I hear from people who are collecting in an area, there's always a few people that they know that they kind of fight over at auctions, trying to win a bid or two.
Well, there are people who collect, I guess, filmmakers on stamps, or maybe
Yeah.
First they covered a different
Yeah.
of a Hitchcock stamp, because I was outbid on some of those.
Now, what was he? He was the producer?
He
Or
was
did
a
he direct?
director.
Director. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Ron, you remember, Ron, your buddy Scott Tiffany is a Hitchcock collector.
Oh, Tom disappeared.
You want your question again?
Scott Tiffany is also I see my thing coming up late. Scott Tiffany is also a Hitchcock fan and collects some things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Other questions, comments? It really shows you what, thematic and topical collecting can do. It really, really is. Have you might, Ann Byerly's here from ATA, and you might think about writing an article for the American Topical Association journal, Topical Time.
Mhm.
Yes,
I mean, you have it right there. It's well done, ready to go.
and we have a new editor. So
That's right.
it'd be nice to have new articles from new different people, as long as the new editors come in.
See what we do, Ron? We reward you and make you write a term paper. But yeah, I think that's be a perfect venue. I mean, you got so much neat stuff. The hardest part would be trying to decide, what goes in and what you have to leave out. How to focus. I think some of their articles too, Ann, are part 1 and part 2.
That's true. That's true.
So think about that. Yes. Okay, then before we move on, do we have any questions or comments or? Good. Well, we'll give the other again. Thank you very much, Ron. We appreciate that.
Welcome.